Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper bringing you another game of StarCraft 2. Tonight my opponent will be masterOFbate. So this guy is the master of baiting stuff. I guess is basically what he is trying to tell us, and I'm sure, just like me, none of my viewers are that naive or they're actually going to believe that. So this guy must think he's the master of masturbation. So this will be a ZvP, me Malikicowtipper is the red zerg, versus the master of baiting, the masturbator, masterOFbate, the blue protoss, over here in the right spawn position of Metropolis. So we're cross positions right now, and as far as Metropolis goes, I definitely like this map, but it can also, at times, it's big, but it can also be claustrophobic in the sense that you've got a big area to work with here, but you can just get force fielded off. Colossus, especially since we're talking Protoss, they can just stack up the high ground. You've got a big entrance to your map right here, and because the map distance is so good, though, so big, it can favor Zerg just because of how maneuverable we are, especially with our speedlings and our faster units, and Mutalisks always seem to come out in this map. It just seems to be a pretty much guaranteed thing. So both of us just hitting the harvesters pretty hard right now, doing some scouting, and right now I'm a little distracted because I just played a game against a Terran opponent who, the guy went Mass Raven Marine, and he had those things out in, he had Ravens out in the field. It felt like right about the time I was getting that fast expand up, he had like 2 Marines and a Raven out there. And I'm like, what the hell is this kid doing? And then he just kept putting down so many turrets, and because the turrets last so long with those Ravens, I actually had to sit back and tech to ultras just so I could break through. I mean, I harassed him enough and kept blowing up, his wall of banglings and stuff, just throwing some troops at him, forcing him to lay down the turrets so he didn't have any energy to use those in my base, because that's what I was really afraid of. Those turrets are just difficult to deal with anything really but ultralisks. They're so cost effective, it's reusable energy. Anyway, getting into this map, so I'm going for a fast expand. He was not able to prevent my fast expand. I got to his base late enough to the point where I'm not able to, and I'm just telling him, yeah, I had to go ultra, where I'm not able to prevent this gateway from going up. I am going to spot the cyber core. So when we're talking, and wow, we need to talk about deciding when you're going to cast a game. When you're going to cast a game of StarCraft, you need to decide right away that you're going to put your volume down, because people are probably already leaving the video and they're like, oh dude, Malachi, you don't know how to cast a game, your volume's too high, get a better mic, noob. Well guys, that is my noob moment for this cast, and I hope you can all forgive me. But what I'll do is I'll bring my drone out, and then I'll decide to go back in, because I don't want him to be afraid to do whatever tech he's trying to do, or to, I want to see what he's going down for. So the Cyber Core actually has a fairly short build time for how important of a building this is for the Protoss. If we look at the income right now, he's definitely starting to get ahead, and this is a big advantage that Protoss have, is just they can chrono boost out these probes and continue to do whatever else they need to do, versus our builds for Zerg, we tend to macro up quite a bit just so we can get a mineral advantage, keeping even with the Terran or Protoss, so we need to drop down, delay whatever tech we're doing. So this gateway right here, this is actually kind of cool. Pause this for 1 second, switch this over to my view. So right now, I see the gateway, and if we look over at his view, he's already canceled. He's trying to fake me out, bastard. So I'm ringing around over here, and I'm looking for other pylons, and I should have checked back here in the smoke, because he's trying to fake me out with this gateway. Now I know that because he is researching warp gates, which is definitely good, but he's not wasting any chrono boosts on it. We go back to the everyone cam, he's got a lot of energy right there, and now I catch that he's laying down a Nexus. And he's actually got 1 Zealot out, and he's probably going to go and poke out with that Zealot. And just taking a look at what's on the production tab right there, he's got a Sentry coming out with the Zealot because he knows he needs to get something to be able to block this wall off. He knows, that I know what he's going to do. He wasn't able to fake me out with that gateway. And there finally goes a chrono boost on the warp gates. I guess I would have liked to have seen that a little bit earlier. And the reason I was keeping my scouting drone along for so long is for the sole fact that I really wanted to see whether or not I was going to be dealing with a quick starport. Because if that's unscouted, you can almost guarantee that you're going to lose the game, because you'll probably only have one, maybe 2 or 3 queens at best, and you just will not be prepared. You will not have, the proper tech down here. So I'm actually going to be able to catch this Zealot and the Sentry out here in the open now. Maybe not the best mineral for mineral trade, but this is 100 early gas that he's just going to throw away. And check this out. This is all mining time that he's losing right here. And I'm actually going to be able to sneak back in and totally snipe that Sentry from him. And I'm sure he's not happy about the loss of that Sentry. And just every little thing that you can get. And this is just frustrating for him more than anything. So as you can see, just kind of expecting him to throw down the Stargate, and there it goes. Now that that's finally going down, I've already got my Evo Chamber down. I've got my Spore Crawler up. I'll be dropping another Spore Crawler, and I'll probably be building more Queens if we go over to the production tab. What I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be funneling some Lings into his building over here. If we take a look at this, he's got a huge Harvester count. This is not where I want to be. So I really need to do something with these Lings. Now that I've committed to building them, they need to at least prove useful. So right here, 4 Lings not really going to quite be enough to peck away and take down the Zealot, but I've got enough Lings reinforcing here where the plan is, even if it managed to kill him, I'll be able to kill the Zealot now and get in here and maybe pick off the Stalker. And if anything, what I'm doing is I'm just forcing him to produce units just like I am, and he's actually choosing to go Void Ray, so he probably wanted to do a push with Gateway units and a few Void Rays, hoping that I went Ling Roach. And do I know that Stargate? Yep, I know that the Stargate's there, so I'll definitely be prepared for it. I'll have, you know, I'll have what I'm saying I'm going to have, guys. I'm good for that. You know, I'm not going to BS anyone, but he's actually choosing to wall off right here because he probably doesn't want to risk a big pack of Lings getting into his base, and, you know, very good in his part because there goes a lot of Zerglings, and I'm not trying to do an all-in on a Zergling commit right here, even though it might seem like that because I'm not building that many Harvesters, but what I'm trying to do is just see what I can get away with because he has a low number of units, and I've got 2 hatcheries, each with a queen, up and running right now. I can mass produce a lot of Lings, and right here, you know, I'm easily able to pick off those Gateway units, but just, I'm not going to have quite the manpower that I need. Snipe a few workers right there, pick away, and I'm just going to decide that it's not worth losing Zerglings to this Void Ray. I'm not going to sit here and continue to feed that Void Ray kills and let him continue to do that, but the other reason I knew I could get away with, you know, maybe one more charge in on that before I decided that I need to build drones, 6 drones, is low number of production facilities. I knew at the point that he only had 2 gateways, possibly a 3rd, and he was warping in the 4th right now. So that, yeah, maybe I could have poked away at that and gotten in, but I would have lost quite a few of the Zerglings once that Void Ray got charged up. But there we go. I've got 2 Queens at each base now. I've got a Spore Crawler right here. I'm well prepared for an air attack that could be coming in right here. And checking out the income tab right there. He's actually going to kill this pylon right here just so he can get his troops out because he realized that he's walled himself completely. And just look at that. Look at that sexy beam of power. Just incredible. But right now, I need to catch back up economically because he has his base up and running. The last thing I can let him do is use both of these Nexi, I believe that's the proper terminology, to just pump probes while I sit there and build military units. So checking out what's going on right here. I have 8 more drones coming out. That's just sick. My income is actually, you know, hopefully going to catch up to his pretty soon, and then I need to continue to maintain that advantage. There we go, 30 workers, and going back right here, I'm researching my Spire, and I'm going to start saving up a lot of, you know, my minerals right now, and a lot of my gas. I'm going to pump that gas out hardcore and get my supply uncapped, because I'm hoping to be able to drop 8 to 10 mutas all at once, and then do a mutaling kind of timing push. You know, it could be coming a little bit faster, but I might have committed just a little bit too much to that Ling push. On the flip side with that Ling push, I was able to keep him from saturating this fast expand that he did on his part, and force him to probably produce more gateway units than he initially wanted to, pick off a sentry, and right now we can see +1 weapons is going down. That's going to be very essential, and I've got a changeling, so I'm going to drop in here and I'm going to see everything that my opponent is doing, and this is actually going to allow me to feel comfortable enough to do this timing attack with 6 Mutalisks right here. 33-second build time. That's always fun to know, because when I rush in here I look at this and I see that there's a decent number of Zealots. I did catch the Nexus, the Forge working up here, so I expected +1 weapons, and he's just dropping this stuff down here, so I know that once I get my troops up and out, being the fact that he only has a few Void Rays out, a little Zealot heavy for my Lings, so they might get sliced up, and here comes a Phoenix, so he's going to do his own bit of scouting right here, and he's maybe hoping that he can just start sniping some OVs, but 2 Queens right here, and that's just, you know, overwhelming fire. Did not stand a chance. He caught my mutas right there, and I'm going to be moving out pretty soon. 3 more mutas, more Lings. I guess I decide that I need to build more troops, but that window of opportunity that I had, that advantage that I had right there, is slowly starting to dip as he just puts more Stalkers, and in this case, nothing coming out of the Stargates, so the Void Rays, I guess, were kind of a lost cause on his part. My Changeling still just sitting over here, kind of giving me a feed on the army. I did not see these Stalkers up here, which kind of disappoints me. I've got Creep running out here right now, and I'm going to start funneling my units over to the other side of the map very soon because I've got a healthy number of Lings. That's a lot of Lings right there. I've got a good number of Mutas. He's got +1 armor going down. I do have an Evo chamber, but no ground attack ground armor, ground attack, or anything like that whatsoever. And I can see right now that there's a few more units. I'm actually going to catch him moving out right here, so if I can fight him away from his base, never mind. Balls to the walls. I'm just going to rush in here and get in there. He's going to be able to cut off some of my Lings right there, and these Zealots right now with their +1 weapons are just going to cut